Welcome back to Clear Talk. I'm your host, Armin Shaffi. This is my co-host.
And
this is the number one show for coaches that need clarity. And we go live every single Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time to answer your questions around coaching, mindset, and marketing so that you can get your help and get your message out there. The big question that the show answers is how do coaches like us who started with nothing and put everything online to build a business around helping other people break through and get results, how do we go out there and get our message across in the world and in the marketplace? How do we get clients consistently while all making a difference in the world? That is the question, and this show will give you the answer. Welcome back. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button with that little notification bell if you want more content around how to grow your coaching business. I even have YouTube playlists around free training for coaches. Every single roadblock you have, I made a training on it so I can help you guys out. And then also, if you're on Facebook, drop a comment down below. Holler at us. Say something in the comments. Hit the like button. Let us know you're here. And the more engagement you give us, the more feedback you give us, the more better the content is. Let's hop right into questions so we can get to the juicy stuff.
Okay, great.
Cool?
Yes,
Okay.
So question number 1. If you were with us last week, these I said at the end of the episode. So I'm a bit cautious about coaching my target audience because they're individuals who are at risk of relapse, etc. What if they don't have long-lasting change? That question is brought to us by Anonymous.
So, your worry about not having long-lasting change, is it because the clients that they're
technically they're technically at risk of like relapsing? So we can assume that means this is a rehabilitation course of some sort.
Yeah.
Technically.
First of all, that wouldn't be coach. I mean, it could be coaching, but you're in the medical field or psychiatry field if you're doing that. But my only answer to this is simple. Your own doubt in your own uncertainty in the long-lasting change is the only problem. Okay. If you're unconfident or uncertain or doubtful about your ability to get the result for that person and to be so good at what you do, having obsessed over how you do it so well to help make sure you understand every single thing that your client's going through to help them get that result, that is your job. Okay, that's your fault. So if you're uncertain about it, the question is, what if they what?
Yeah,
relapse, right?
I'm a bit cautious about coaching my target audience because they're individuals who are at risk of relapse. What if they don't have long-lasting change?
So again, the caution could come just from the fear of what will happen. Again, for you might just choose a different target audience if you're not certain about it, because there are people out there in the world that will take the most extreme version of a client and change their look at Tony Robbins. He'll take someone who's suicidal, literally going to kill themselves in his seminar right there. They're going to do it tonight, and he just takes them on nonchalantly because he has so much certainty in his ability to produce results. So that is a gauge you need to measure with yourself. Honestly, you got to ask yourself, am I ready for that? Okay. When I started 5 years ago in transformational coaching, the only thing I did have is a lot of passion and certainty. So although I was uncertain in my abilities to help, it didn't stop me. So I had no fear or doubt. I would still go out there and coach a lot of people and just try to help them out. And if I didn't, I'd work with them until I got it. And if I didn't get it, after even hours and hours and hours, I would go research why I didn't get it and figure it out. That is your duty as a coach, right? So there's no what if or what if. There is no ability. There is no reality where you don't get the result. There's something that Tony said 5 years ago that changed my life. And I realized because if I wanted to be like him, because at that time I was just starting out as a kid, I'm this is my idol. Mm-hmm. There's something I realized. I have to adopt all of his beliefs. I have to literally think the exact same way as Tony if I want to be as good as him, as confident as him, as successful as him. Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest beliefs I think I took from watching him in interviews, so I would watch him and study him to see what his beliefs were, is he said he believes wholeheartedly deep down inside that if there's a will, there's a way. And that there is nothing that is impossible.
Absolutely.
So, and he says this in his I'm Not Your Guru documentary. He goes, when there's a will, there's a way. If I'm willing, no matter what, I'll find a way to break them through. Because the person goes, how do you not know if you're giving them the wrong advice? How do you do that? What if you mess up? He goes, if there's a will, there's a way. there's no reality where I don't help this person. There's no reality. So you got to start adopting that belief in your own mind if you're uncertain about your ability to produce results. You have to start adopting that belief. That is a personal development thing. That's a mindset thing.
Yeah.
Okay? Obviously, when you get more results, it reinstates that belief, but the belief has to start with faith, which means you don't have any yet. You got to start from just believing in it because you're convincing yourself that you are willing and able no matter what to work until you get the result. That's how I started. So there is no, look, the same what if you have about what if they don't get lasting change, what if they do? Another technique I used a lot when I was starting out and had a lot of doubt is I would just doubt the doubt. Like when it comes to like, what if it doesn't work out? Like, well, what if it does? Just doubt the doubt. Yeah, it's another big thing you can do that can help you out.
Yeah. I have a follow-up question to that, Armin. So you've actually coached a lot of people who were, let's say, at risk. So when approaching that at-risk circumstance, so this could mean, if we're talking about relapse, we can talk addicts, we can talk suicidal, people with depression, etc. Those who are quote-unquote at risk, which, might mean that they may need to go to a hospital or get a third-party service or something like that, rehab, whatever. So you've dealt with some people like that. You'd say, yeah? What would you say is the difference maker for you? Was it just that belief, like I'll change them no matter what? Was it empathy? How did you approach that situation a little bit differently?
Personal belief system versus what I'm using with them. Empathy is a method. It's not a personal belief system. So what are you exactly asking?
Well, specifically then, how can this anonymous person go into their next session?
For me to have the courage to work with someone at a high risk, it requires that belief.
Yeah.
That if there is a will, there is a way. There is no reality where I do not help this person.
Okay.
So I have committed to never stop until I get a result. That is a personal thing. I don't need the client to do anything for me or a circumstance to change that. That's a personal decision.
Yeah.
So the requirement to be able to have the confidence to do that is internal.
Okay.
Methodically, everyone has a different thing. You have to gauge the client, right? Obviously, I've worked with people who are on the depression, multiple depression. I've worked with suicidal, and thankfully, I've saved a handful of people in that sense. That hasn't done it, and to this day still grateful. I work with addicts. And again, I'm not a licensed therapist, nothing like that. I'm not a psychiatrist. What I'm saying is I didn't take them on as a medical or psychiatric client. What I'm saying is they came with forms of addiction that I did not know about for educational coaching or life coaching. And when I worked with them, I realized that these are the problems. So I gave them educational suggestions. They were not a professional client, I'm saying. So they maybe came to a seminar, and that was a very generic educational seminar, but I helped them in that sense because they stood up and talked to me.
Yeah.
So there's been porn addictions, there's been drug addictions. I have, and I'm going to be honest, never have I worked with the medically diagnosed addiction. Okay. It's not right. It's not my profession. It's not what I do. Can I help? Probably sure I can. The modalities I understand could probably help them.
Yeah,
right?
Of course. Yeah.
It's not my field, right? Just because I understand the problem and I know I can fix in some way some of the things doesn't mean that is my field. That's not.
Of course.
Right? I'm in the field where people have personal issues, right? Personal internal issues, mental issues, not mental in terms of psychiatric or psychiatric borderline, but not medical.
Got it.
More so in the mindset stage.
Got it.
But there's just a lot of fear and doubt and all that stuff. Right? Now, if that gets out of control, it turns into some type of psychiatric medical issue. Okay. So beyond a certain point, I don't do that as a transformation coach. I don't work with that. What's going on? Oh, it's a notification. So you have to gauge, right? So I've worked with those kinds of high risk people, very extreme situations, and what I found works really well is there is a process. You have to understand the process. Okay. And people in that sense always need understanding. You can't just go into you're doing this wrong. No. They need validation that they're not crazy. Yep. That's the first step. They have to every time I've worked with a very, very crazy critical risk person, they need validation from someone that they trust, and respect that they're not going crazy and that what they're going through is okay. They need some form of reassurance, it's okay. You're not the only one. It's totally normal. Every time I work with depression people, addiction people to maybe minor things like marijuana or alcohol or something not that serious,
Yeah.
Or suicidal I've worked with as well. The most effective first step I've ever taken is just make them totally feel like it's normal, it's okay, it's totally easy to fix. And that comfort, that empathy that is definitely a foundation for actually getting them to break through. Then you go into understanding what is the source of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So my results have come from being very good at intelligently problem sourcing.
Got it.
But that's really what coaching is. If you don't understand how to get to the source, the root of something, then you're not really a good coach. Like, you're just asking questions, hoping on a surface level they'll get some idea.
Yeah.
And maybe they accidentally might. That's what therapy kind of is. And so, but more so, I'm like more direct. Like, I'm definite towards, like, there is a root belief, some form of experience that has caused this branches of different experiences in life.
Yeah.
So then, after they felt understood, then you go into the seeking to understand where the problem is sourcing. And it always comes from within, and it always comes from a younger age. Oh, like undoubtedly, without exception, it always comes from the childhood, and it always comes from within. It is, and within, what I mean is, from childhood, someone put it there.
Yeah.
And it is, and here's another one. In fact, let me reframe what I just said. It's not always comes from within. It's always come from someone who put it in them, and it always came from that childhood.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean if you're older, like at 20, they could have gone through something as well. It doesn't mean like someone could have been raped. I've dealt with lots of people like this. That could, your whole life could be fine, and then at 20 that happens, you're like screwed. Okay, yes, but majority of the time, it has always come from the childhood, and it has always come from parents, friends, something that someone put in them. And the most strongest pattern I've seen amongst all these people is that they believe it's them that's causing their own problem. And I'm like, it's the first thing I do is not you. You don't understand. Like, you're a product. You're a byproduct of something messed up.
Yeah.
And so, because they've never thought like that, because that also those people that put it into them also made them feel like it's their problem, like you're messed up. They have no way out. That's why they feel depression. That's why they feel suicidal. That's because they have no way out. So, like, take any person, and tell them that today sucks crazy. Like, today sucks. Tomorrow's gonna be worse, and every day after that's gonna be worse. How do you expect that person to have hope or joy or you know?
Yeah.
So it's like that belief that today sucks and tomorrow's gonna be worse has to change. By going backwards and figuring out where it started, and then realizing there was a time where it wasn't like this. Yeah. Taking them back to that state, and then they embody that. So it's very complex. It's not like I can't just tell you in 5 seconds, but
of course.
But does that answer your question? Like, in terms of,
yes. So I just to give you guys some context, I just wanted to give you, my anonymous friend, a base to start with where you're potentially feeling with things. And just from my own personal experience, having worked with some people in different areas, based on the show before, I feel like I've talked about my own personal history with mental illness, which doesn't necessarily translate to what I'm assuming is drug addiction, but it can be similar. So, people can relapse and potentially attempt again. They can relapse with various forms of self-harm. I would argue addiction kind of falls under that umbrella, but more often than not, right, as a coach, you have to ask yourself where you're willing and what you want to do and step into the journey. If you feel like this is past you and you'd like to recommend it to somebody else, or a third-party service, a hospital, a rehab center, a clinic, etc., don't be afraid to make that decision, right? You have to ask yourself what level at which you are comfortable with as an individual, as a coach. And the second, or I would argue maybe even the first, is to see where the client's at before you even ask yourself, and see if they're at a position where they are open and willing to be there for your coaching and expertise, or if they need to do something that's a little bit more extreme, right? Ask yourself, be very, very honest with yourself about the client themselves and yourself throughout the process. If it's above you, then give it to somebody else and educate them and let them go with grace so they can find power in the decision that they make next. If it's not going to be you, maybe it's going to be help that will benefit them overall. So ask yourself that question as well.
Cool.
Okay, awesome. Next question we have. How do I get over comparing myself to other coaches? No matter what I do, I keep seeing what other people in my niche are doing, and I want to change or adjust things. That question is from Brenda L.
So what was the first part of the question? Because that was the actual question.
Yeah. How do I get over comparing myself to other coaches?
What was the second half? Because in what context?
No matter what I do, I keep seeing what other people in my niche are doing, and I want to change or adjust things.
Right.
Yeah. What?
Who cares? Who cares? So differentiation in the marketplace is not necessary.
Oh.
It's not. It's not necessary. Like, you don't have to.
You mean I don't have to stand out, Armin?
No. Not if you're high ticket. Okay. Not if you're high ticket. Not for short term. For long term, yes, but not for short term. Do you know how many people are business coaches and do exactly what I do? I know because I studied them. Like I bought some of their programs. I studied them from the outside. I watch every one of their videos. Like that's not comparison. That's called market research. So what you're doing is market research. You got to reframe your thinking around it. It's not comparison. You got to know what your other people in your niches are doing.
Yeah.
You have to know. That's called market research. You see what's working, what's not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the whole point. But it doesn't matter because let's say there's this pool of clients, right? Like of prospects. A portion of them are going to work. They're going to be more connected to your messaging than them. When you learn to niche, competition doesn't matter. Did you hear that?
I did.
That was a nugget.
I did. What? When you learn to niche, the competition doesn't matter. Tell me more.
That's a gold bar right there.
Tell me more, Armin.
When you niche, the very essence of niching means it is your slice of the pie.
Mm.
So here's another thing. You're not really niched if you have competitors, but that's not really true. I wanted to say that. That'd be a very powerful statement, but it's not true because there's always going to be people in.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
But technically, when you construct a niche, when you design your own niche, you are taking that separate angle. Make sense? So like there might be another business coach out there, right? That sells how to build your business to coaches. But their angle might be all about money orientation, money focused, or maybe they're more like marketing focused. Maybe they're more sales focused. Maybe maybe their personality is more harsh. Maybe their personality is more like, no, it's okay, take your time. Maybe their personality is really funny. Like all of those things completely change the dynamic of what kind of people they're going to attract in the marketplace, right?
Yeah. Maybe
their messaging is more focused on freedom because they have a family, right? Maybe their messaging is more focused on luxury because they're young and they want to show you how to get a Ferrari. I don't know. You know, maybe their messaging is more directed towards just being the best because they want to grow a long-term business. So their message is going to talk to those people that want that. Maybe their message is about how to quit your job. You know, like you have a full-time job, you want to quit it to go full-time coaching, and their whole business is, their messaging and their offers based around how to quit your job. Like they're attacking a different pain point, different avatar, different client, different everything. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, so because everyone has their own unique perspective, their own unique personality, like they're going to attract different types of people. Mm-hmm. You know how many people I get that book a call in my office and join my program that also saw some of the giants in the industry? You know, literally, I get this time and time again. Sam Ovens is an incredible. He's one of the, arguably probably the best in the world. In this industry for building a consulting business, right? And that encompasses very similar to what I do, okay? He's been around for like 7 or 8 years. Mm-hmm. 7 or 8 years, like probably even more. He was like a millionaire by 21, selling consulting. Yeah. Then he built a course and a program around consulting. His prices are even like comparatively competitive to mine. Like there's so many reasons why you would do Sam Ovens, okay? But I still get people booking a call in my office like, hey, man, I booked a call with theirs. I talked to their team, but I was attracted to your marketing, like your messaging, you, and I want to do your program. So basically, if you're like, what? Does it really matter if you're not the best or if you're not different or if you're not, like, obviously I'm different, I'm saying, but like that there is competition, I'm saying, does it matter? No, it doesn't. Mm-hmm. Because that's coming from a lack mindset. Like you actually think there's not enough people in the world for everyone to have enough clients to hit their financial goals. That's so false. Yeah. There is more than enough people in one marketplace for everybody to hit their goals. It's just a matter of, are you good at getting them? Mm-hmm. So you don't have to worry about competition when it comes, if you're sub 1 million, if you're less than $1 million, you don't have to worry about competition. Because at high ticket, if you're selling a $5,000 or $10,000 thing, that's only a few hundred clients to hit $1 million in your business. That's nothing. That's like a fraction of a fraction in the marketplace of people. Okay? Now, if you're trying to get to 10 million, 20, 30 million, then it matters. Yeah. Because at 5 or 10 million, now you're getting in front of a lot of people. Yeah. So you start becoming a name in the marketplace that they see amongst all the other people dropping that kind of money in advertising to get their name out there. In that scenario, of course, you have to now get really creative. That's now you're competing with competitors that are intelligent and talented just like you. So the only way you get there anyway is if you get really good at what you do. And that means everyone at that level is really good at what they do. So at that point, now it matters. But it does not matter when you're just starting out and you're just offering something in a marketplace. You want to hit a couple clients and make 10, 20K. It doesn't matter. Now, assuming you wanted to get past the million to 3 to 5 to 10, sure. Now let's talk different.
Yeah.
But in that sense, it takes more analysis about your context of where you're at for it to matter. But to me, that matters. That's why I'm patient, because I'm not trying to make a quick buck. For the first 3-4 months in my business online, I wasn't able to make money for the first year. Right? But we still made a lot of money in the last quarter of the year last year. But the first 3 quarters, I didn't care. I didn't make that much. I didn't care.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm setting up a business to go over 10 million plus. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I got to make sure everything, I've thought about 17, 15, 20 steps ahead. Okay? But I work with a lot of coaches. Not everyone wants that. You know, some people just want to hit the 50K mark and do that over and over. And it's $600,000 a year. And that's whatever, 10 clients or 5 clients, depending on your price point. And that's like heaven. You work with people you like, you have a good program, you're leveraging your time, and you make more money. The average person doesn't need a lot of money to live their dream. I remember doing the math once. When I was 20 years old, my dream car was an R8, and I wanted to live in a $4 million penthouse condo in Vancouver. That was my goal. I'm like, okay, I did the math. I actually did the math. It only costed $21,000 to have that a month. I'm like, what? That's it? That's actually it? It cost maybe $2 to $3 grand for an R8, the one I wanted, for the payments and the insurance, maybe $4 grand. Let's just say. Yeah. The $4 million condo, if I mortgaged it, it would have been like whatever, 5 or 10 grand, or like around 10 grand or something. Even if I rented it, would have been around 10 grand, right? But I don't think they would rent it or lease it. And so that's like only 15 so far, just an expense for a car and a thing. And that was like my dream. I'm like, wow. I'm like, if I even spent $2,000 to $3,000 a month on like clothes, and I wasn't like, I didn't really care about. Maybe I was naive then. Maybe then. Clothes are very, very expensive now that I look at it. But let's just say I spent even $5. That's only 20. Yeah. And then like food or whatever gets fit into that. Like I'm like 25 grand, so I need to make what 35 before tax. I'm like, are you joking? At $50K a month, you can live like a millionaire. You can look like a millionaire. All right. So a lot of people they don't need that much. So if your goals are smaller and you're not trying to crack the the code and be the best, it doesn't matter. Competition doesn't matter. It actually does not matter. It only matters at scale. You see what I'm saying? It only matters at scale, not in the beginning. Everyone is looking for someone like them. When I started again 5 years ago, I'm like, I want to build a business around transformation coach, breakthrough coaching. I'm like, Tony Robbins is the best though. But you know what dawned upon me? Someone in my neighborhood doesn't know who Tony Robbins is. I'm like, the people down the street don't know who Tony Robbins is. A lot of people I know can't afford $2 grand to go to a seminar to get general coaching from him in a seminar. I'm like, so what can I offer that he can't? Very personalized, attentive one-on-one coaching with the same kind of results. I'm like, okay, so I just got to get really good and then get those people that can't go to him, they go to me. And some people like me better than him. Some people like him better than me because everyone has their own style. You know what I'm saying? So don't busy your mind with nonsense. Like competition does not matter. The only reason why competition becomes relevant to you is if you're doing market research to find out what they're doing that works, to see how you're different, like essentially messaging what your unique position is. Example. I'll look up and I'll see 5 different of my top competitors, 10 different competitors. I'm like, this is how they're angling their offer. This is what they're saying, what pain points their pain points they're focused on, all that stuff. And I'll make a list of them. And I'll be like, where do I sit in the middle of all this? I'm not doing it because I'm like, I want to be different. I'm just saying, do I connect with this person more? Or is that what I'm trying to say? Or I disagree with all of them? I'm trying to find out for market research. Not because I feel inferior and like, oh, there's all these people that no one's going to pay for me. That's not true. It's just BS. It's all BS in your head. Okay, so market research is the only reason why you look at people, not because you need to differentiate. Differentiation happens. Like one of our clients, Daniel, he grew to 20, 30 grand a month selling from scratch, by the way. Never did coaching ever in his life. And never having a business ever in his life. Like literally he was like a toddler, baby. We took him, we grew him up, and now he's like this CEO. He has like 4 staff members. He has like students.
Shout out Daniel.
Yeah, he's like, I'm really proud of him. That happened within 3-4 months. Like, that's crazy. And his method, his differentiation is that he teaches people who stutter how to overcome stuttering through public speaking instead of speech therapy. Public speaking is not his thing. It's a thing, right? It doesn't matter. Differentiation does not matter in that sense. He just knows that it's different to them. He found a market that's different to them. He doesn't care about his competitors. And his competitors are funny. They don't do anything like it. But he didn't know that. He wasn't thinking about that. Yeah. He just thought, what is my method? So if you have a method for how you help your clients, that's all you should think about in the beginning. As you grow, you got to get creative because now you're sharing the market of attention with other people that are really good just like you, to help those clients. So now you are battling for a client. Okay, but not not less than $1 million, I'm trying to say. Anything up to $1 million doesn't actually matter. Like you're still a small piece of the market. When you get to doing $1 million, $2 million, $3 million a year or even beyond, like $1 million a month, for example, some of my friends are like this. Now you're really buying and competing with market share attention because whose face is everyone seeing the most?
Yeah.
At that level, of course, you can't just be like, I do this generic thing. No, you got to get creative. Mm-hmm. That level, you got to create a new angle. You maybe got to call it something different. You got to angle yourself so it seems like a new opportunity because at that level, it's a make or break if they're going to be more curious about your thing or their thing. Mm-hmm. Not in the beginning. That's my answer.
Awesome. Yeah. Good answer. So we've got a question from Adam in the comments. What do you think is the limit to the amount of revenue you can make from a coaching business with only a small team? Not someone like Tony Robbins with a massive team.
Oh, that's an easy one. Up to $20 million plus a year. Less than 10 people, you can make up to $20 million. How do I know? I know people who do that. Like 7 people in their team.
Yeah.
2 good sales reps. 1 client success management team person. Takes care of all the clients. Using the students in the program to be some coaches because they're really good and they appreciate the program. And a couple content and a few other people for content creation, video editing. That's it. Literally, that's it. My team has the capacity of growing to multiple 8 figures. Right? Doesn't mean we're not going to hire people. We probably are. But I can get with just Jeanette, Lauren, Imad, Isaiah, and even Upton with like filming. I can easily get to $10 million in business. Yeah, that's it. So that's the beauty of high ticket, by the way, and the beauty of online. Notice how Tony only does one. He does high ticket, but he doesn't have online. That's the beauty. Yeah. He doesn't have any online. Like barely has any online. He doesn't sell anything online. He just sells tickets to go somewhere, right? So think about it this way, though. His team could be 1/10 of the size now that he does Zoom.
Yeah.
Genuinely, right? When I was running, think about this. Actually, you know what's crazy? Comparison. Last year, we had a higher profit margin in our business going online with less people than I did 3 years combined in running seminars. We did a lot of revenue, right? We did like close to $900,000 in seminar ticket sales, selling 10Ks, 2Ks, whatever. But you know how many people I managed? Like 10 to 15. So I would have a core team, right? I have the head of events. I had the head of ops here. Yeah. I had my marketing. So I had like a 5-6 person core team. Same 4 to 5 people core team that we have now.
Yeah.
Essentially, right? But there was an extra slab of 10 to 15 people that were volunteers.
Yep.
That were extracurricular, like for event stuff.
Yep.
And like
depending on the event size, depending on the location,
workload was crazy.
We would have more like at Reborn last year. How many people were on the media team? About 4.
4 on just media.
On just shooting. We had 3 or 4 cameras.
Volunteers, we had 12.
We had 12 volunteers. The team itself was
core team was like
4
another
or 5 of us.
It's like 20 people.
Obviously, we're not including guest speakers, which technically have to be managed as well throughout that event fulfillment. So that was about 5 people. So like one weekend, let's say our team to deliver to our clients could have been between 20 to 30 people.
And the most I've ever made in a weekend in sales with the coaching seminar is like 130 grand or something. 100? No, not 150. I probably had like 130 to 40.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. That was 1 weekend, sure. That was months of work.
Months.
20 people. Okay, watch this.
Months of work, organization, communication, meetings.
Yeah. Now watch this. In November, that just passed, we did 100,000. The profit on that 100,000, the workload, the profit on that 100,000 was exponentially more.
Yeah.
Okay, so we didn't make as much as an event.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
But we also barely did much. We just we sold just higher ticket and just solved a bigger problem.
Yep.
And we did it in a more efficient way.
Yep.
So that 100 grand made me more in profit to put back into my team. Everyone got bonus checks and we just took care of quality of life increased with that 100 grand online versus the 140-30 with reborns.
Yep.
And so here's the crazy part. I did it with 1/4 of the team with even I would say a quarter of the workload in terms of even delivering what I sold in the elite packages.
You could say
because that doesn't suffice to months of marketing and event. Okay, so why do you think I'm online now? I'm only going to do events for marketing purposes and for literally connection, not because it's a good business model. Even Tony has a terrible business model. These guys have to do Like they're a mammoth.
Yeah.
So when COVID hit, they died. Literally died. Like they're not making anything. I know
the events pay for everything. If you think about it, like ticket sales to the event and the fulfillment of the event pays for everything that went into organizing the event.
So the only way you make money is by selling something in the back end. And Tony only makes his profit in like the back end selling 10K Mastery University.
Yeah.
Or but if the beauty of an online is that because it's so much leaner in the front, you can actually make money in the front with high ticket.
Yeah.
If you're selling something less than $2,000, like it's a low ticket thing, then you can't expect profit. Doesn't mean you can't make profit, but you shouldn't expect it because the money should come in the upsell in the back end for people to work closer with you. So,
moral of the story is,
I just cut to the most profitable, effective, and the best client results part of the business, and I just focused on building something around that.
Yeah.
Which side ticket coaching. Yeah.
Awesome.
Does that answer your question, Adam?
If you're still here, Adam, let us know.
What's the next question?
The next question is, can you be too niche? For example, I think I'm spending too much time looking at every analytic and taking note of all of the numbers, and it's overwhelming. That question is from Katie P.
Can you be too
niche?
What does analytics have to do with niche?
Like, I think she's talking like the, I don't know, maybe just analytics on
Read
social.
it one more time.
Can you be too niche? For example, I think I'm spending too much time looking at every analytic and taking note of all the numbers, and it's overwhelming. So maybe she's talking demographic numbers, like this.
No,
woman,
that's not niche.
This person between. Oh yeah.
Nah.
Oh yeah. Tell me more, Armin.
Tell me more. Did you do it all wrong?
That's actually one of my questions later on too. So this is a common thing, I guess, in the marketplace. That niching is.
I say go find your niche. Go, okay, women 40 to 75.
Yes.
No.
Literally, one of the questions that I have is, I have a coaching program that can help anyone. Is it necessary for me to target only men, female, age demographics, and the usual theoretical demographic ranges still?
So look, there's two parts to a niche.
Okay.
Only one half of it is demographic, which is like who specifically, like demographically, you want to help. Because maybe your program is only for women, for example. Again, that's not really niche. Like that's half the population.
So what's niching, Armin?
The other half is psychographic, which is way more important.
That's the answer.
Okay, way more important. Psychographic niching is knowing what problem or current state are you niched in to fix.
Oof.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
I learned that psychographics don't change. They
always
stay
the same.
consistent.
And every type, and multiple different types of people can have it.
What's a niche? You're gonna
But
get clear.
Again, you ready for this? Watch this.
Break it down.
I barely think about demographics for SGC. Like, we have 25 to 45 because from results we saw that most of our clients come from 25 to 45 year age.
Yeah.
Or sorry, 25 to 50 year age.
Yeah.
Anything over, we find it's a little bit outside of our comfort zone of people we want to work with, and anything less. No, but we have some people. We got some people under 25 that are crushing it, 20, 30K, like 100%.
Yeah.
But
and we got some 50-plussers.
Yeah. Yeah, we do, 100%. Yeah. My point is, though, that the cream of the crop for us is we found was 25 to 50. But I think that's the only demographic-based targeting we did. I still go to men, women. I don't. It's not niching to choose a country.
Yeah.
But you might think of this. Okay, here, let me put it to you this way. Niche is about specificity, but not in demographical stuff. It's not just that. Like, if you do that, you still don't understand what you're doing. You need to start with psychographic. So I had to first think about, like, which market do I want to be the niche, do I want my niche to be in? I'm like, there's speakers, there's consultants, there's coaches, there's course creators, there's leaders, there are entrepreneurs. And by the way, if you don't know the difference between all, and in your marketing you say, attention all coaches, speakers, entrepreneurs, you have no idea what you're doing. I'm serious. There is no way you are accommodating to so many different industries. There's no way. And the only time I see that happening is with amateurs. I don't care. Or it's like widespread. It's like really amateurs that just think if they just say more people in their title, more people will buy. Nope. Okay, that's that. And then there's like, you've gotten so large and like oversaturated your version of a niche that you just wind up your program to be like, anyone who wants to learn something like this can come now. Again, I don't actually think that's smart, but I've seen people past 10 million do that. I don't think it's smart. It hurts the program, hurts the community, and it hurts your team. Yeah. Because it gets confusing.
Yeah.
It's actually smarter to just create a lower ticket product for a different niche to educate them to become this niche. Okay, that's how I look at it. But example, like is SGC is about helping coaches that are struggling to grow their business scale through automation, high ticket packages, and leveraging like time and money through webinar and all that stuff. So that means we're primarily trying to work with coaches that already have a business that just are hitting a ceiling of 5-10K a month, right? And we want to get them to the next level, 50K plus. But doesn't mean we don't have beginners in our program. We do, but it's not our expertise. Like, it's not our place. That's not the program it's built for. You see what I'm saying? But if I want to hit that market of like, hey, you guys want to think about being a coach? Or if you're a speaker and want to get into coaching, or if you're a consultant, okay. Then I'd probably create like a couple $1,000 course, like a course that's worth a couple $1,000 that shows them how to start a business in coaching. Like how to choose this, choose that, get your first client. Because that's getting them into the market of becoming my higher level ticket client, which is for my SGC program. You see what I'm saying? So so that's really stupid to put multiple different names. I don't care if you're, and here's the problem, the only people that do that are marketers. Because they go, well, marketing applies to everything. I know, but you're just confused. Like, you don't know who you actually want to help. And if you can't look at your actual results and see who am I attracting the most that I work best with, and you're not niching to that person psychographically, demographically would be the market, but psychographically, what problem am I solving the most? And for what profession? That becomes a really good niche. So think of it like this. There's 3 major markets we've talked about this: health, wealth, relationships. Inside that market, that's our niche as a market. Inside that market, there are sub-markets. That's what we call a niche to some degree, but I think we could go more specific, but just intelligently. Inside of, for example, real estate, there is the person who flips homes, there's the person who rent to own, there's a person who invests just properties, there's a person who sells it, right? Those are all sub-niches. Within that now, that's the most demographic I focus on, which is the market and the sub-market. So inside there and what inside there are the person I want to work with is doing. What are they trying? But psychographic is about, okay, what is that person's goal? What is their desire that they're working towards that I know I can help them get? What is the problem they're facing that I know how to solve? And is the problem high ticket, right? This is all training we have in the program. And do I relate to this person? Like, it'd be really dumb for me to make a parenting course. I don't have kids. You know what I'm saying? That's something I want to do.
That he knows of. Just joking. I couldn't help it. All right, dumb joke. Sorry.
All right. Okay.
I clearly shouldn't make a comedy course. Because no one's laughing at my bad jokes.
Don't make a comedy course. It'd be stupid for a guy to get into pregnancy coaching. You get what I'm saying? Okay, I'm just being these are obvious things. So find a market and a sub-market that you actually know something in. And then inside there, choose the person with the psychographic that you relate to the most. And what is the smartest and the easiest way to do it is just choose a problem, a big problem that you know you can solve.
Yeah.
So in coaching, for example, there's the market of online. Okay. That's a whole market, making money through online business and selling something online. Okay. Inside that market, there's coaches. It's my sub-market. There's a sub-market called coaches. Within even there's even another version, another level, which is there's coaches trying webinars, there's coaches trying organic, there's coaches trying seminars, there's coaches doing one-on-one, there's coaches that are certified. And so I even go one more level deep. This is called levels of targeting inside the market. And I don't want to confuse you because if you're watching this, like I have a whole in-depth training video on this in the program. And if I tried to explain to you, I would do you a disservice because you won't really get it if you don't see the examples and analogies I use in the program. And I can't do it now. So just understand that there's 3 levels of marketing. There's the everyday person is very generic. Then it's a little bit more niche. Then it's really niche. Like person's actively trying to do what you can teach, what you can help them do. And they just don't know you exist or haven't tried your thing yet. So I specifically niched at first to just anyone that's a coach and a speaker because I did seminars or whatever. Then I'm like, no, not speakers, just coaches. Then I wanted to coaches on my nerd, just coaches doing organic stuff online. So coaches who are depending on referrals and trying to find clients by trading time for money. Now I'm really niche. But psychographically, what's the problem they're having? Lack of time. Like I understand my buyer, you know, my prospect. Lack of time. Ceiling of income because they can't every time they make more money, they have to trade more time. So they at one point they hit a ceiling like I can't do this anymore. Right? They feel burnout. They feel alone. Maybe they're unclear with their offer. They're attracting the wrong clients. Why? Because, again, they have no understanding around psychographically. They're getting the wrong people. They're charging less. These are all psychographic things. They're doing things mentally that are different than what I know I can help them fix. So I would start with it's much easier for me to go, who do I connect to the most? Which problem that a person is having can I fix? And then find a market where those people are probably having that problem the most.
Okay.
Or if you're in like a generic coaching skill, and we did this with Gazzy. She's in our program. She's a passion coach. So we helped her develop her program, helped her develop her webinar, helped her grow a group and an audience and get her first client. She closed her first $2,500 client the other day, beta client. It's so unfair that he gets to go pee, but I can't. Like I'm like holding it as heavy duty right now.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's crazy. So we helped her do this, and she's like, at first when she came to me, she's like, I'm selling $100 hour sessions.
Yep.
Okay, that's what she was doing.
Yes, she was.
And she's like, I'm selling life coaching.
Yep. And
I'm like, but what do you mean? It's like a breakthrough session. She just helps them figure out the limiting beliefs. I'm like, yeah, but Gaz, you can't just like that's really like. I mean, you're getting some clients, but like if you want to get high ticket, like 5 to 10K, and build a business, you have to some degree understand what is your new, what is your specific niche that you're focusing on. So I'm like, you're good at overcoming the limiting beliefs. That's what her skill was. Okay. So we reverse engineer. I'm like, well, who do you connect to the most? At first she said students, but then we realized like you can't choose a market as well. They can't pay you. So we went to professionals, people who are just miserable in their job. Okay. Older people like that or have jobs, the everyday person. Okay. Then I go, well, when it comes to limiting beliefs, well, who specifically have you been working with? Or what limiting beliefs specifically are you passionate about overcoming? Because like there might be a limiting belief about your willingness to date somebody or willingness to start something or willingness to lose weight. These are all different forms. It's another psychographic niche of your skill.
Absolutely.
See how deep we can go? Okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
So with her, we boiled it down to, she's like, I used to have a job that I hated, and I started to pursue my passion and like become my own entrepreneur. I'm like, great. So is that something you're passionate about? She goes, yeah. I go, okay. So why don't you become a coach, helping people overcome limiting beliefs that are stopping them from finding their passion?
Yeah.
And so that became her entire business niche.
Wow.
Her niche became, I help employees like professionals overcome their limiting beliefs so they can find their passion. So they can find their passion without like soul searching and like, YouTube videos and all this stuff. And we created her a new method, which is called passion programming, which is really just, we helped her frame and package what her process of coaching is and called it passion programming. So easy. She's easily closing clients now because no one's ever heard of it. And like, it took months, just so you know, no bullshit here. It didn't happen overnight. It took months.
Yeah.
That was her pace, and that's what we had to do. My point though is we started with what problem she's interested in. If I imagine I started her and she's like, I'm a life coach. I just know how to overcome limiting beliefs. And I'm like, so what age group do you want to work with? 18 to 37.5. Okay. What region? Only north of Ontario. Like, well, how stupid is that? Demographic means nothing.
Yeah.
Demographic is only where to find your niche. Did you hear that? There's nobody there. Psychographic.
Wow. Huge.
Is actually defining your who. Demographic is finding out where that who is.
Wow.
That's going into module 2.
Lauren, write that down. Virtual Lauren in the universe, write that down.
Like
that was good.
when I train
That's
the coach,
so true. Holy shit.
When I train the coaches in my program around niching and finding like positioning in the market, like your high ticket problem, is the first thing we focus on.
Yeah.
Is what's the problem you want to solve? What's that end result you produce? Okay, let's reverse engineer. Who's looking for that? Who do you connect to that's looking for that? It's exactly how I build my business, right? So that's
strong.
Psychographic is the who, the person.
Yeah.
Demographic is getting specific about where they are and who they like, what do they look like, and how old are they. But not until you found psychographic.
Absolutely. And we could argue even if you're online that where they are doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. But here's another big thing. Like again, no, it doesn't matter if you're running ads. Only when you get to ads, you need demographics.
Yeah.
Only when you get to ads, you need demographics. Really, honestly.
Yeah.
Because if you target a niche problem that you're really good at solving and you attract anyone that has that problem, you fix it. But again, the problem must be specific, must be a high ticket problem, not just anything. Like you have tall grass, I'm gonna come cut it for you. That's not a big of a problem for you to pay me $5,000 for, right? You pay me $20 for that, I'll cut your grass. That's a problem though in the marketplace, but it's sitting at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to value. The problem has to be a high value problem. Okay. For my HTC coaches are watching this, like, yo, where's the training for this? I'm making the new version. It's coming. Don't worry.
Calma.
So, so you got to start with the problem.
Yeah.
And then you reverse engineer, like, which demographic is having this problem the most, blah, blah, blah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I hope that helps.
Great. So for both Katie and Jacob, who are on opposite sides of the spectrum there with this niche question. So can I be too specific, or I can help everyone, I want to go vague? Start with everything that Armin just talked about.
Yeah.
That'll give you the basics.
You can't help everyone if you try to help everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, if you try to help everyone, you help nobody.
Yep.
No one on this planet helps everybody.
Yep.
Other than gurus, and gurus don't have a very specific profit-driven model. So if you're in business to earn an income to support your family, yourself, and others, that is not what you try to do. You want to be Mother Teresa, you don't become a coach. Tony Robbins has a niche. Guess who it is? Entrepreneurs. That is his primary niche. People that are saying most of the time in his seminars are people in business. How do you know? Oh, well, let's look at the fact that his value ladder at the end of it is a $10,000 business mastery program. Mm-hmm. Why would you think he would make a product to sell if he didn't have the market for it?
Yeah.
Because his Unleash the Power Within seminars, his funnel, filler, is filled with majority of people that are trying to get into business and entrepreneurs. That's why they're there, because they value that stuff.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean he doesn't have students and parents and all that. Of course he does. But see, that's the trick, right? Choose your niche, and then the ripple effect of the people around that niche will come too.
Absolutely.
Will come.
Yeah.
Okay? But that's a long-term thing. Short-term, you got to find that person that you can help and find 10 versions of them and charge 5 to 10K because, and that's a whole nother story. Because some of you are like, I have to work up to 5 to 10K. That's not how high ticket works. You choose a problem that's expensive. It doesn't matter if you've worked up to it or not. If you choose a low ticket problem, you can't charge high ticket anyways, no matter how long you do it. That's why people get stuck at charging $300 a product,
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah. And a lot of you are undercharging a high ticket coaching anyways. Because you're undercharging, you think that is what's normal. No. You're subnormal. You're not doing it properly.
Armin is reading my mind today because he's going into the questions I'm about to ask next with conceptually. So the next question is, if my niche isn't high paying, should I change it?
Who's your niche?
My niche. Who are my nieces? I've got.
That's why we say niche.
Shout out my nieces. But if my niche isn't high paying, should I change it? That question is from Maxwell.
Of course. But there's two problems here. Are they not paying you high because you don't know how to charge?
Or
are they actually not a high-paying audience? And that's a different question. And if the problem is, if you don't know how to charge high, take it. No matter where you go, you're going to take that shit with you.
Ooh, snap.
But so let's find out.
Yeah, let's talk.
Yeah, how do you know? Okay.
Yeah.
If the problem, think about it like this. If the cost of the problem you solve as a coach is more expensive than like 10 grand, if they don't fix it, like example, marriage, can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars if you don't fix divorce, right?
Divorce, yeah.
Emotionally, if you don't lose, even financially though, if you don't lose weight and you get worse, it can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars medically, cost your life. That is far more expensive than 10 grand. In business, if you don't fix a business that's working, you have to bankrupt, that costs a lot of money, a lot of time. Time, money, and emotional capacity, these are things like time and emotional capacity far outweigh money. But you can also quantify the cost of the problem if you buy money as well. Everything has a cost. If you don't pay a little bit now to learn how to get in shape, you're going to pay a lot later to get back in shape.
Fact.
Right? Mm-hmm. If you don't do your due diligence now to become healthy, you're going to pay 100 times more to heal yourself when you're sick.
Yep.
There's a cost of the problem. Mm-hmm. So if it's that, and you're charging less than 5 is the bottom of the barrel, then you're already undercharging. You're the problem. Okay, you don't believe in your own product.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, it's worth like 1,000. No, that's your problem. So you don't change your audience. Mom? I'm done. It's Jen. Jen's calling me.
Shout out Jen. Hey, Jen.
You don't change your audience because now you're just going to take your low ticket mindset somewhere else. Now, if you're trying to help someone that physically now listen, here's a big difference. They physically do not have, or logically can't make sense of why they would have 5 to 10 grand to put into it. I'm not talking about they have it saved up because nobody budgets for investing into themselves. Remember that. Yeah. 9 out of 10 clients we get into our program weren't ready for the investment. That's not a reason why you don't do it. Nobody's waiting around. Like nobody taught you growing up, like make sure you save 10% to put back into yourself when you grow up. Like no one can afford coaching. That's not how you look at it.
Where's your personal development account?
Honestly. Everybody can't afford it. Just think of it like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, that becomes an irrelevant factor. Now you look at this. Can you make sense logically of how this person could pay you high ticket? Then it is. Example, when I work with coaches, they're obviously in business, they want to make money. They have to have money to be running a business. And if they have no money and they're running a business, that is a very problem in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
So when I charge what I charge for what I do, I'm like, well, you're going to make more money on it, but you're also going to fix your time, fix your life, fix your thinking, fix everything. The cost is way more than what I charge if you don't fix this. So I know I can charge what I charge because I'm like, well, if a coach is in business, they have to have something or a willingness to invest into that business. And if they're not, that is their primary problem already. That's why they're broke in their business because they don't understand their business requires investment.
Mm-hmm,
okay.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Now, but if I'm working with like 18-year-old kids, okay, now it's a problem. No 18-year-old kid has high ticket money to put into anything because they don't logically have jobs at that point most of the time. They're in school, the parents use so then yes, that audience cannot be a high ticket audience. That's why we don't work with people that are not the primary source of their income like in their life. Okay. So you have to know the cost of the problem, the value of the problem has to be over $5,000. And the audience, you have to logically make sense of how they will be able to pay you. For example, if you're anything over 25, to some degree, I know you have lines of credit, credit cards, or money saved up, or a job. Yep. So anything over 25, you can afford it to some degree. Now, demographically, you live in a part of the country that is extremely poor. That's just a geographical thing. Like you live somewhere where it's extremely poor. If someone's on food stamps, obviously, I wouldn't make an offer life coaching people on like in poverty or in that have food stamps or on welfare. Like that makes. I want to create a coaching program how to take people out of welfare to getting to break it out. Like I wouldn't do that. Now, some of you might disagree with this, but I don't know how you can. This is way more ethical in my perspective. If you're going to help people that cannot get the help, you should do that for free. I don't know how you could argue that with me. I think it's a shittier thing to charge $500 to a person who's legitimately financially struggling and is poor and like is on food stamps, than to charge $50,000 to a business owner or an adult that wants to change their life. I think that's a huge claim.
Mm-hmm.
It is morally wrong to try to make money from a person who genuinely does not have money. That's messed up. Okay? And the only reason why you would be charging a low ticket to a low ticket audience, why? Because you're thinking still low. You're low ticket. You still think poor. I'm not going to name names, but I know one person. No matter how much I would tell this person, you got to charge this much. What you do is worth so much more. Because they themselves were poor thinking, and they were dealing with poverty in their own head. They would only attract poor people, and give poor offers, and get poor results, and poor everything. So I'm like, man, you need your own life coach first, before you get a business coach.
Mm-hmm.
Ironic. How do I charge such high ticket? I sold up to $55,000 programs. Because I'm a client of these things, guys. You go, but Army, you didn't have the money in the beginning. I made the money. I found it. Like, there is no reality where you cannot figure something out. And if you can't find out how to find money to put into something that's going to make you more money, you have a personal issue, not a financial issue. You are lacking the creativity that it takes not only to succeed in a business, but just to fix your own goddamn problems. And if you can't do that, holy fuck. Forgive me, God, for putting holy and fuck in the same sentence. You got another thing coming. You're delusional. I'm sorry. You're delusional, okay? You have to build at least one skill. It's called resourcefulness. If you don't build that, you're screwed for the rest of your life. You are screwed. Because life is business specifically, is a never-ending, constant flow of problems. The only thing that makes it easier is you get better at solving them. You can't avoid them. Arguably, life is almost the same thing. It is a constant, never-ending flow of challenges to test you to grow. And if you do not have the skill and the willingness and the talent to understand and work on yourself to get good at solving them and overcoming barriers, you will not succeed in your life no matter what you put your mind to. So, you know what's funny? When I get on sales calls, or my team does now, and someone says, well, I don't have the money, I go, yeah, we know. Okay, so you weren't saving up this huge chunk of money for us. Like, nobody budgets to fail in their business. Nobody budgets to pay for the person to come fix it. Nobody budgets for anything. That's the whole problem in and of itself. But that makes no difference to us. What are you going to do? This is literally how we talk to you on a call. If you're serious about wanting to work with us, what are you going to do? Oh, well, you know what answer we don't accept? Oh, I'm just going to go continue to keep doing what I was doing up until that got me here. And then when I magically figure it out, as if that makes any logical sense, I'll come back to pay you to help me figure it out. No. You got problems up here. That's what's going on. You don't understand. You are totally either ignorant towards your own issue or you're deliberately ignoring your own logic. Because that makes no logical sense. Okay? So we say, okay, here's ways to be resourceful. And in my whole thing is this: when I used to take my own calls with like potential people that don't want to work with me, I did this with Oscars. If Oscar's here, Oscar remembers. I'm like, dude, like your coaching starts now.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to go find some money to pay for the thing you know is going to help you, you shouldn't be buying a business program.
Yeah.
You should be buying a mindset program. Because you've yet to understand how to develop the characteristic of a person that figures things out. I'm like, if you don't know how to come up with this much money, how are you going to do it in business? How are you going to handle a month where you make no sales? How are you going to handle one of your employees turning around and doing something stupid? How are you going to handle a lawsuit one day when you get big enough? So my coaching with you starts in the sales process. I'm looking to see if you give a shit enough about your own goals to figure it out. And if you do not, there is no place for you in my program. Because this is a hard thing to do. Business is hard. It is not easy. And if it is, you won't last long. Because however you did it wasn't right. How many people I know made millions overnight? They went to jail. They some bullshit happened in their life. They got locked up, got put somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Lost it all. Lost their own sanity. Lost their respect. Lost their friends. There is a price for trying to shortcut nature.
Better tell him, Armin.
Genetically modifying vegetables, trying to shortcut nature, now causes cancer and issues in people. There is a cost for every action, and an action for every cost. Law of compensation by Emerson. For everything you put in, you get something out. For everything you lose, you gain. For everything you gain, you lose something. 100%. For me to gain wisdom, I got to lose something else. Immaturity.
Yeah.
For me to lose wisdom, I got to gain some ego. There is a exchange. Question is, what are you exchanging with your future? Because when you got an obstacle in front of you, like, I don't have money, I don't have clients, I don't have this, I don't have that. Great. So when the opportunity arises for you to know how to fix it, what are you willing to exchange? There is no reality where you cannot find money or figure something out. If you were a mother and your child's sick in the hospital, you don't look at the doctor and go, I can't afford that, doctor. Sorry, let him go. You don't do that. So snap out of it. Stop bullshitting yourself. Just understand you're lazy and not getting to that level of motivation to do this. And that's a problem with your goal. That's also why I don't like to work with a lot of people. They go, I just want to make $3,000 a month. $5,000 a month. Get a job. Why are you in coaching? Honestly, what the hell are you in coaching? Why are you building an entire business to make minimum wage income? I don't get it. Someone make sense of this to me. Please make sense. Why someone wouldn't just find a 40 hour a week job, get paid $2,000 to $3,000 by just showing up and getting some work done for somebody. Why they wouldn't do that over them for some reason thinking it will be somewhat easier or the same level of effort to go make $5,000 in their own business in a month.
Yep.
We got to wrap it up. Tell me in the comments.
Yes, so Upton said passionate from miles away. Adam said it's important to have a resourceful mindset. We've got some fire emojis. We've got some claps. Got some love.
You got anything? No, from you.
Oh no, yeah.
Not
so
another question.
with your sermon just now.
Yeah.
Ooh, all the points.
I'm taking tithe.
Sunday service.
Sunday service.
Monday.
Pay your Pay your dues. We got to pay for rent.
No, honestly, man,
I might piss someone off.
So many.
I might piss someone off.
If you're upset.
No, I'm gonna say something. I might piss someone off.
Lauren says maybe for some it's not all about the money.
I didn't say it's all about the money. I'm just talking specifically about money.
Yeah.
And Lauren, if you want, just tell me what you mean by that, because I want to clarify.
Yeah.
We're just talking about money. I'm not saying just because here's another big misconception in the market, man. Just because someone focuses on a topic for more than 15 minutes doesn't mean they're implying indirectly everything else doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if I'm a fitness coach, I'm talking to you just about how to lift better. I'm not saying nutrition's irrelevant. I'm just talking about this part first.
Absolutely.
There is a massive part of a business should be the money, because that literally is the life. That's like saying, well, when you're talking about the body, it's not about the blood only. Well, the blood runs the body. Heart pumps it out. You can't survive without it. Money is the bloodline and the lifeline of a business. So if you're not money focused to some degree, you should not be in a business. That's pretty much, it's economics. I don't know. What'd you say?
She hasn't responded yet.
I might piss someone off. I gotta say this. Churches would do way more moral duty learning how to properly build a business and then actually serving sermons for free instead of tithing. That's my take on it. Never made sense to me. Never makes sense. What's stopping a pastor, a preacher, a sheikh? No, sheikh doesn't count. What's the Muslim ones? I used to go to mosque. What are they called? Imams? Yeah, imams. Nothing is stopping them from learning how to financially suffice their own institute through acts of capitalism, which is a ethical way of exchanging value for money. And then giving and servicing people religiously for free. There is nothing stopping them. Only the lack of desire. And the tastiness of something for nothing. Oh, I just do this thing. And hopefully these people will pay for me. That makes no sense to me. That makes no sense. That's how many poor pastors, poor imams, poor people are there trying to teach the word of God, try to help people become enlightened to life. It is absolutely sad. It's so sad. I piss someone off, but it's sad, man.
Hey, maybe. Lauren says, gotcha, I hear what you're saying. And Adam says, people think they'll be more free owning a business making $40K a year.
Zoom in on.
People are mistaken. People are wrong. People were lied to. People are completely ignorant.
Yeah. Honestly, it's like...
That's like saying, I want to give a good, that's like saying, hold on. I just want to get down the street.
Yeah.
I like my bike, but it doesn't go fast enough. I want to go just 10 kilometers faster.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go through months of engineering mechanically an engine, building an entire car, all the parts, putting in the money, going into debt, finding the parts, putting it together, 6 months of building a car from scratch, so I can drive 10 kilometers faster than my bike and get down the street.
Sips coffee.
I'm trying to bite my tongue. Who the fuck spread that idea? I was a victim of it.
Yeah.
Weren't we?
Yeah, of course.
Years ago when we started our own entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Like, yo, we'll make more money than a job
Absolutely.
and have no boss.
Yeah.
Wrong profession to get into, buddy. You know what you should do if you want to do 40K with more freedom? Not even, because freedom is very subjective. To me, freedom is doing whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want, with whomever you want, and as much as you want. There's a lot of wants in there. Okay. A fully functional, systematized, streamlined business can give you all that. Can give you all that. A half-ass, self-employed small business doesn't give you all that. You're still strapped to time.
Yeah.
You're still strapped to a lot of things.
Yeah.
It gives you one form of freedom. Nobody tells you what to do. That is a very cheap form of freedom compared to all the other freedoms.
Yeah.
Financial freedom, time freedom, emotional freedom. Egotistical freedom, don't tell them what to do. That is a dumb motive. I'm serious. I was that guy.
I was literally gonna say the entire when you mentioned that was how we started. I'm like, yeah, because we had a lot of ego. It was just ego.
Yeah, we're like, we don't want to work for someone.
It was really just.
I'm
It was ego
We're not gonna work for someone.
It was ego manifesting itself.
We wanted to just say,
Yeah.
we were in business for ourselves. What a stupid goal. What a high cost.
Very high.
years of effort, failure, waste, just so much, just so we can prove something. Just the freedom from, like, not even freedom from your opinion, just like bullshit. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's delusional freedom.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I don't have to do anything, but then again, I'm also broke. Oh shit.
Then again, I'm working 12, 16-hour days.
I'm working 15 hours a day.
Then again, I'm not sleeping.
To pay for my $500 office.
Legit.
Just so I can not have someone tell me what to do. Wow.
Like,
wow.
If we could tell you guys
That's
stories,
a younger issue.
It's a younger issue.
When you get older, you're not that stupid.
Exactly. But like,
we gotta be stupid when we're young.
No, but think like really, let's go here for a second of this archetype of individual.
Is Adam saying anything, by the way?
No, he just laughed. But really, let's think about this archetype of person, right? You don't ever want to listen to whatever anybody else is doing. You want to do what you want when you want. You want to be able to make all this money.
You just want freedom from authority.
Really?
But guess what? There's a bigger authority than your boss. It's called life. And that authority is going to beat you to the ground when you get out there and try to play with it.
Yeah. If the purpose isn't true, if the ducks aren't all aligned, you're gonna find yourself being that person who's got 5 side hustles. You sleep 4 hours a night. You never eat well.
Preach.
Can't find a minute to work out.
Preach.
You're eating You're eating $5 biryanis and medium walk-in pizza.
Shout out
for Pizza.
You're trying to hedge food.
We're drinking. This is This was us.
This was 5 years ago. 6
5 years.
Not when we started this business.
No.
Prior to my coaching business, we had another trying to do some bullshit.
Trying to do some bullshit.
Bullshit. Cheers to that. From bullshit to real business. What's up?
Not sleeping. Not eating well. Drinking energy drinks.
No guidance or
coffee,
direction.
No guidance.
No definite.
No definiteness on any
No definite end.
mother thing. No real mentor.
No idea.
No idea.
No wisdom.
No wisdom. No
real skills.
Too good to give somebody money to teach us jack shit.
We could do it all through
We
YouTube
could
and
do
books.
YouTube and books.
I can torrent the course. I don't need to pay for anything. No skill set.
Yo.
No actual high income skill set that can produce money.
It was just ego and bullshit.
No practical knowledge. We can keep going.
Ego and bullshit. Okay?
No sense of humility.
No.
No confidence. All insecurity. Driven by insecurity.
Literally, like, not spending time to really do anything else.
No productivity towards anything actually that's going to be created. What did Adam say? Is he laughing? What's that down there?
Adam is he laughed before, but he just came back on.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like guys.
No, Adam said people think they'll be more free.
Yeah,
owning a business.
Yeah, I said that earlier.
But making $40K a month.
No, you're more free in a job.
You're way more free in a job.
You're more free in a minimum wage job with only 8 hours because you have another 8 hours. To
when
yourself.
you clock out, it ends.
It's like you get out of a job to work. You get out of a job that makes you work 8 hours a day to work 16 hours a day to make the same amount of income for the next 5 years until it actually makes you more money. That's literally the
he said
transaction.
40K a month. So obviously
No, 40K a year.
No, he changed it to 40K a year. Yeah.
Oh, a year. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but
What did he say?
Adam's like, no, this is amazing. No, but guys, please.
Please
don't
do it.
No, like genuinely.
Because one of us goes in and we all go through.
No, like don't please. If you think that a business is your
No, it's not.
it's your ticket to
No, hold on. A business to only make less than 50 grand is not your ticket fee.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
It's not. It's genuinely not.
It's stupid. You're working twice the amount of hours to make the same money. Also, you can have illusional freedom, like, oh, someone doesn't tell me what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then again, you have the worst boss then, is yourself. Trust me. You're not going to like that boss more. What are you going to do to complain? Are you gonna work on your new boss's hours yourself? You're gonna take a longer shit during your break so you can get paid per the hour? You can't take it out of you. You can't cheat yourself. Can't.
None of the things that you use at a traditional job, maybe I'll just, clock in a little early, get a little paid.
Complaining.
All of the fucking things. Oh, I try not to.
You can't do it.
You can't do it when you're running a business.
And if you do it in a business, that's why your business sucks. And it sucks. I'm assuming your business sucks if you think that way already. I don't need to know. I already assume it. Here's another thing. Here's the other funny thing. We're also talking about building an actual, sustainable, real business the right way. Because there are so many wrong ways to build a business. Like, then a lot of people go out with their employee thinking or their just lack of experience, like not too good to pay someone to learn. They go out and build a business, and they do it completely. We're pissing lights off. That's what's happening. We're dropping lights, not mics. We're dropping lights.
That was a light that fell.
There's an energy. My energy blasting these lights back. So, are we still going? Okay.
Yeah.
So then some people go out and they go and build a business where now every client they get is their boss.
Yep.
So now they went from one boss and no responsibility with an income to like dozens of bosses to almost the same or less income with a maximum responsibility, because everything you take, if I take $5,000 from a customer, I owe them $5,000 of value more now. That's responsibility.
Yep.
So my bank of responsibility also increases with my bank account. But in an employee job, when you're giving more value and you take more responsibility, like minusculely, they'll pay you more for that. So you get paid with still a segment of the responsibility, because there's a whole system happening.
Yeah.
It's the whole point. The owner of that business that hired you took the responsibility off your hands. That's why they also make the profit, because they also lasted longer to get to that point. My point is, you go become a self-employed person, not even a real business owner, self-employed. How most coaches go out there start, they just start trading time for money, one-on-one coaching. They charge a little bit by little bit. So now every client is their boss, because every client's telling them like how they want things and how they want it. Especially, and that's just coaching is a little bit more forgiving. When you get into the real business world, like DJs and contractors, you can go ahead. DJs, contractors, renovators, anyone that does like freelance work.
Yeah.
Every client you sign up is your boss. They're going to treat you as if they're your boss. How do I know? I've hired graphic designers, people like that. I'm their employer for that contract.
Yep.
So now you're selling yourself away to 12 contracts, employers, right?
Yeah.
And making maybe twice the amount at a job, and that's really if you have poverty amounts you don't know how to charge a lot. At least if you charge a lot, you can say you can justify it. I make $30,000 a month doing funnels for somebody, like for 5 people. Sure, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But again, now you have a responsibility to deliver. Now, no matter what you're going to deliver, but in the model that we built sustainably, I leverage all the responsibility on my clients to get the work done, because I have a training that gives them what they need. Okay? So, and I have a team, so we all share the responsibility. So there's a lot less workload, a lot less pressure, a lot less responsibility for a lot more money, a lot less time commitment, and fulfillment. I actually enjoy this.
Yeah.
Let alone the fact that you could go out there and do it all wrong. Nobody ever accounts for the fact that they might actually be miserable doing the thing they just built.
Yep.
And that becomes the real scary thing, because now you built this whole thing and you're like, I need Tony Robbins because my life sucks.
Yep. We know those people. Adam commented and he said, I think people see social media, they think it's cool, and they think of the 4-hour work week.
I haven't read the book. I'm not going to say anything.
I haven't read the book either, so I'm not going to say
I read
anything.
part of it.
Yeah.
The illusion is that people think it's a 4-hour work week where they are doing everything within 4 hours, but it's actually not. The whole book is about delegating it to another person.
Which is a skill to learn. Absolutely.
But that's just business.
That's
you don't have a business until you're delegating.
Yeah.
You're self-employed until you're delegating. So it's not really 4-hour work week. Doesn't mean you can't leverage. Like, again, I only do 6 hours of coaching a week. When I come to like things in my business, like this, I spent no time setting up, right? I just show up, okay. But there's like, what I'm saying is, man, there's so many moving parts to this. My point is, don't go into a business thinking you'll have more time freedom.
Yeah.
At least for the first 3 years. And that's being gracious, 3 years.
Yeah.
You could also do it wrong. Like, there's so many things you got to learn to become the person that provides jobs. There's years of wisdom and knowledge and failure you need to go through.
Yeah.
Because that's leadership responsibility. Now, you're going from a person who's employee to employer.
Mm-hmm.
Person that has job to provide jobs. There's a massive curve of learning.
Yeah.
Massive time of building things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's like saying, I'm going to go from renting an apartment to building my own house.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it is. 100%.
Just realize it's going to take you a hell of a lot longer. No instant gratification. You can't complain if the house is shit because you built it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No one's complained to.
Yeah.
Your full responsibility is every part of that house succeeding. Whereas in renting, there's a landlord, there's that.
Mm-hmm.
You have one part of the responsibility, paying, showing up.
That's it.
Just understand, you're going from a massive part of the world to a small part of the world. That small part of the world is the reason why it's small. Because it's hard. Now, if I have scared the complete bejesus out of you, that means you were not meant to do this yet. you should not be doing business if that scared you.
Yeah.
That whole talk scared you. Now, if you listen to everything we just said and you go, I can do this, mentally and characteristically, you're made for this so far. Because a real entrepreneur, real leader, looks at this stuff and goes, that's exciting. Just watch me do it. That's the only requirement. You need to have will, and desire, courage. It ain't easy. Anything else before we wrap up?
Oh, honestly, I think we can wrap up. Honestly, I got a couple more questions, but we'll just funnel them into next week. But wow, what a show.
Isaiah's going to cut out some stuff out of this.
What a good show today.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us again on Clear Talk Monday, every single Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're on YouTube and you like this episode, hit the subscribe button and follow us so you can get some more free goodies like this. If you're in the Facebook group, make sure you hit that like button. Invite some of your friends that are coaches that can benefit from being in this community. And also leave a comment down below with your number one takeaway with the show today. And if you want your questions answered on the show, you go to askarmin.com. Submit your questions, and we will answer them live on the show. That's how we get them over there.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? There's nothing else, right?
Nothing else, no.
Thank you for coming today. If I pissed you off, good. If I didn't piss you off and I inspired you, good. Either way, we're good. We'll see you next week. Make the rest of your week the best of your week.